This is huge. Yesterday was one of the best, if not the best tornado of the year. I mean, look at it. It's insane. We've got more storms on the way. Might not be exactly like this, but tornadoes, hail, and strong wind are all likely. All right, so how is this all gonna go down? And how bad is it gonna be for you? We got all that in today's Friday forecast, starting now. Look at that car right there. Look how close they are. That's insane. All right, taking a look at today's satellite, it is very active out there. We have a complex of storms that's sweeping through Oklahoma. It's now moved into Arkansas. It's kind of the leftovers. We've also got this complex of storms. This is that low pressure system right off the South Carolina coast. Notice that spin in the atmosphere. The good news is it didn't have time to develop in any sort of tropical system, which I'm sure our East Coast brethren are appreciative of. Else than that, we've got clouds across a lot of the Midwest and plains here and into the Northeast. We've also got clouds and some rain showers as well. Once again, Midwest brethren, beautiful day ahead. But if we take a look at the radar, look at this complex of storms that moved through Oklahoma City last night. We even had a couple of tornado warnings on the northern side. I'm going to put this thing in motion here. Look at this absolute beastly complex of storms that moved through, packed winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, even a couple of tornadoes overnight in Oklahoma. Now, getting right to our severe weather that we are expecting for today. This is the outlook for Friday, June 6th. And we've got this massive, very long area of severe weather that goes from Oklahoma, Colorado, Texas, all the way through Nashville, even into Kentucky. And we've also got this spot up here in the Northeast in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont. And inside this elongated risk here, we've got two orbs of enhanced risk. That's a 3 out of 5 right at the base of that long risk. This risk is huge. All right, here's our tornado risk for today. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Let me show you what we're looking at. Once again, very elongated shape here, but our 5% risk, which is this is our greatest chance of seeing tornadoes today, is by far in Colorado down into the panhandle of Texas. And we're likely going to see two clusters of storms that form, and each cluster is going to have different consequences today. But it's important to note that tornadoes are possible as far east as Bowling Green, Kentucky. So heads up, folks, from Kentucky all the way through Arkansas, southern Missouri, into Kansas and Oklahoma. You guys are also in that 2% risk of seeing possibly a couple of tornadoes today. Along with the tornadoes, hail is going to be a big time threat, especially in these supercells that form here in Colorado and Texas. That's where we've got this 30% red chance where some very large hail could fall. We're talking 2 to 3 to 4 inches plus, all possible. Now, how is this all going to time out today? I'm going to start here on the plains with this risk as well as in the southeast, and then I'm going to go to the northeast. So hang in there, people. I'm getting to your area. We're going to start today, though, with this leftover MCS. It's going to slide off to the east. It's going to die. As it does so, it'll leave a little bit of an outflow boundary right in there. Now, this is about noon central. And notice, we really don't have a lot going on here, but that's going to change as we go into the evening. Today's going to be a very similar day to yesterday, almost a carbon copy repeat. Storms will fire around 4 to 5 p.m. in West Texas. This will be cluster number 1. And then we've got a second cluster of storms that are going to fire up here in Colorado. This is cluster number 2. Number 2, my lord. And then we've also got a third cluster of storms. This is kind of the leftovers of that MCS that was earlier. That will spawn and reinvigorate as we go into the overnight hours tonight. We've also got generally scattered storms here in the southeast as well. Those are kind of your normal summertime storms bubbling up and bubbling down. So going throughout today, cluster 1 and cluster 2 in West Texas and Colorado are going to be your big severe weather producers. Notice we've got a couple of supercells that eventually merge into a line here near Lubbock. Lubbock is going to get slammed once again. We zoom in a little bit further. I just want to give you guys exactly what you need to know here. So if you're looking for tornadoes, I think the best chance to see a tornado is probably up here in Colorado, where the storms will be a little bit more isolated. The storms down here in Lubbock, Texas, they're going to form into more of a line as we've got higher moisture down there streaming up from the Gulf that's going to be feeding into these storms. If there are any tornadoes, they'll most likely be rain wrapped. And if we take a look at our significant tornado perimeter for today, notice how we've got kind of two areas just like we saw yesterday. This one up here in northwest Texas. We've got a little bit down here in Lubbock, but yesterday they had tornadoes because they were aided by that boundary. Today, I don't know if we're going to have that same boundary in place. Lends me to believe, I think actually the best chance for tornadoes we're going to get is right off the mountains, right in that area. But of course, tornadoes are possible as far south as Lubbock, even further to the south as well. But this is plenty of twist in the atmosphere. This is plenty of fuel for your tornadoes here. So just a big time heads up. If you do live in West Texas, if you do live in Colorado, if you do live in Kansas, I think we are likely going to see a couple of tornadoes this evening into the overnight hours. That's not the news you want to hear on your Friday. TG Wedge F. Now, as we get later into the night, notice how the storms in Texas and the storms in Kansas are both pushing towards Oklahoma. They will eventually merge and create a massive squall line just like last night. Oklahoma City, southern Kansas are once again going to get absolutely hammered. It's just going to be insane. What is going on the screen I'm drawing? I really do like my new pen. Now, what about our eastern and northeastern brethren? They're going to have some scattered severe storms today. We're not expecting a severe weather outbreak by any means, but it's a good chance. If you live in the northeast here, you're going to get some sort of rain, some sort of storm action today, as we've got a leftover cold front that storms are going to fire along today, and that's going to slam off to the east as we go into the afternoon and evening. Let me show you 4, 5, 6 p.m. Okay, this is 6 p.m. Eastern here. Expect a very active day from Maine all the way down through Virginia and West Virginia, even into Ohio, even into Tennessee. Check it out. We've got a couple of complexes of storms moving through here today. And once again, this area right in here, this is in the tornado risk. So heads up, you got a 2% risk. These are the storms you're probably going to get. Might have a supercell or two, but I think the most part, it's going to be clusters of storms like you see here. Our Florida brethren, you're starting to get into those daytime storms as we've got some big time heat over the peninsula of Florida. We've got sea breezes that'll push in during the day. That'll help kick off some of those showers and storms. That's just kind of the normal summertime pattern. I want to go to the beach so bad. I mean, wow, there was a lot to cover here. Normally I don't spend this much time on the radar, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters of storms to cover across the entire United States. This is huge. All right, we talked enough about today. Let's talk about tomorrow. Here's the Storm Prediction Center outlook for tomorrow. And I'm a little sad because yesterday it was a shark, although this still is kind of fishy here, right? This kind of looks like a shark. So we got a shark risk for tomorrow. So we've got this slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5 risk that goes from Texas, Oklahoma, through Missouri, into the south, into Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, as we've got kind of a weak jet stream that's setting up over this area that's going to help provide some extra lift for all those thunderstorms. Now, here's our risk for tornadoes for tomorrow, and it's centered primarily in the plains in Texas, and that risk goes all the way into Tennessee, all the way through Arkansas and Missouri. I could see them adding a 5% somewhere in here, especially along an outflow boundary that could set up following that MCS tonight. All right, so how is tomorrow going to play out? This is our main risk area for tomorrow, and we'll likely begin the day with a couple of complexes. This one big, massive mesoconvective system, MCS as we call it, will be slamming its way off to the south and east. So damaging winds and maybe a spin up could be possible tomorrow morning. And as we go throughout the rest of the day on Saturday, June 7th, notice how this line, this MCS, keeps going and actually kind of reinvigorates as that daytime heating heats up and really destabilizes the atmosphere out in front of it. So that line will likely be our main severe weather focuser for the day on Saturday. Notice how it just keeps going and going and going and going, and it doesn't die out till Saturday night. Look at that. I mean, it's still going Saturday into the overnight along the east coast of Georgia. It looks like we might get a second round of storms that develops behind it overnight once again in Mississippi and Arkansas. Now, the big question in my mind is how this MCS is going to affect our severe chances for Saturday, because I think the best chances to get any supercells would be in this region, but it all depends on how it can destabilize during the day Saturday. But if we do get a couple of supercells to form, like is depicted with this model, see those right in there? Those will likely be right along that outflow boundary and could be tornadic. Now, switching gears here to the northeast for Saturday, I don't think we're going to be talking about severe weather for Saturday, but we are going to be talking about almost a complete washout from Maine all along the East Coast, through New York City, through Boston, down even into Jersey. I know our Maryland brethren, you're also going to get wet. Another trouble spot on Saturday could be down here in northern Missouri and southern Iowa. I don't think we're going to be talking about severe weather. This is going to be more like heavy rain falling during the day Saturday. But check it out, Ohio, we've got nothing going on per usual. Ohio is great, really. Oh my gosh, I'm almost afraid to look. Yep, this is Sunday, and we already have this enhanced risk in Texas, Oklahoma, Lubbock. Once again, this area of the country cannot catch a break. This is the Storm Prediction Center outlook for Sunday, June 8th. We've also got kind of a secondary area of severe weather along the East Coast from North Carolina down through Georgia and South Carolina as well. In between that, this is just your general daytime thunderstorms you get during the summer. Now, this is our energy for storms. This is our storm Gatorade, as I like to say, for Sunday. And wow, the NAM is saying we're going to have Cape of 3,000 to 5,000 right in that enhanced risk. That's why we've got that risk in place. Heads up Sunday, especially in Texas, West Texas, and Southwest Oklahoma. Fortunately, could be another big day. Talked a lot about the severe weather. We covered that. What's the weather going to be like for the rest of us for this weekend? And guys, I'm going to be honest. It's going to be really hard to go a region by region. I tried to break it down with the radar, but if you're east of the Rockies, from this area basically all the way to the East Coast, including Florida, I would expect to see some sort of shower and storm activity at some point during the weekend. Look at this. This is the Euro model. It just brings round and round of rain showers and storms through the same areas across the entire eastern United States. So although it won't be a complete washout for the whole weekend for a lot of you guys, I would expect if you live in this circle region above, you're going to get some sort of storm action. You're going to get some sort of rain action at some point during this weekend, as we'll have a couple of disturbances pushed through. We've got this low pressure up here. We've got this low pressure over here. We're going to have a trailing cold front right here. We're going to have a weak cold front right here. It's storm madness. All right, now what about temperatures the next couple of days? I'm putting these temperatures in motion here just to kind of show you. We've got 60s, 70s, and 80s here in the Midwest, and we've got in the Northeast, those are generally 60s and 70s. And then down here in the South, we've got 70s and 80s, close to 90, over 90 in parts of Texas, as well as Florida and the Southeast. I mean, these guys are absolutely baking down here. We got some flames going up. I'm such a good artist. And then our friends here off the West Coast, you're fine. You're the normal temperatures, 90s down in California and parts of California. And then the further up the coast you go, the further up into the west you go, the colder generally you get. This is all really for Friday, Saturday, even into Sunday. Now, what about our temperatures in the long term, guys? Summer is here. Yes. And we've got above average temperatures expected basically over the entire United States, except for our West Coast brethren. Get ready to break out the bathing suits, put on that suntan lotion, and get to the beach. Or if you're in Ohio and you don't have a beach, just walk outside. All right, just checking in the tropics. We don't have anything going on. That's great news. No tropical activity expected in the next 48 hours. When something does pop, I'll be the first to tell you. For anyone that didn't watch our live stream yesterday, we had an epic moment where Aaron Rigsby made this face. We're going to keep doing these outbreak aftermath shows after the storm chase. We're going to have epic storm chasers like Aaron, Connor, Jordan, Sierra, Corey, and all of them. Make sure you guys tune into those. Massive shout out to our new subscribers, our new members, and anyone that donated yesterday. Y'all are the best. What is this? Oh my God, I'm at a wedding. That's right. I won't be around tonight or tomorrow because I'll be at my cousin's wedding that I'm in. I'll be looking like this, nice and dapper, tuxedo on. But just a heads up, I won't be on Reed Stream. I won't be streaming here, and I won't be making forecast videos. I'll be dancing and singing. All right, thanks for joining me today. From all of us here at the Stormfront Freaks Network, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Find someone, tell them you love them, tell them you care about them today. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Stormcat 5, and I'll see you on the next one.